Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rant Bollox. It's been a few weeks. We've got lots on our mind. We've been watching things. We've been doing all the things. What's new with you, Paul?
Doing all the things and not watching anything. That's basically what our life has become now.
We've been doing
Sucks.
our own private things, but I guess the Raptors won last night. That was a massive thing for Canada.
Yeah. So the start of all this episode for everyone, it's going to be a sports one for the first half anyway.
Yeah, we'll do some.
It's a big time. It's a big time for sports.
We'll do some good old time codes as well. Or we'll either split it up or time code it. But so you'll get some sports stuff, you'll get some movies and TV, and then some gaming as well.
Yeah, we don't usually have a plan. Everybody knows this by now.
Oh yeah, but I guess we should start with the Raptors, just seeing as they just won. It's fresh. I'm not really a basketball fan, but man, Toronto, because I work in Toronto, it was so busy. Like even the last 2 weeks, it was busy. But this week in particular, because they had a game on Monday, which they lost, but that was in Toronto, and then they had the game yesterday, which was just insane. Every single bar had a lineup. The streets were just buzzing. People were just happy, and Toronto was in the lead as well. So. I think you were a little bit more into it. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, because I watched last week's game. I watched the whole series on and off. But last week, last week I was like, oh, I really hope they win it at home, because it's different than like what we're used to with football. Like when there's the final game of the tournament, it's always in a neutral venue, like it's in Cardiff or it's in Wembley or it's so you get half the fans are your fans, half the fans are the opposition's, and well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you get more of an atmosphere of like it's a big occasion. Like the Super Bowl does that in America as well. But with like basketball and hockey, because the hockey just finished too, it's the best of 7 games, and then they just alternate where they're playing. So it's kind of weird that they won the championship at the Golden State.
I know. Yeah.
It's like they're winning or they're losing and they're winning, and then it gets to the end and they win it, and it's just like it's not as big a scene because all the home fans are just like, oh fuck this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they must
they're
be
all
miserable.
leaving.
I know.
Yeah.
It's that's why I kind of wanted them to, because Toronto had one more chance. So I was like, it'd be pretty sweet if they lost yesterday, but then they had to play the Sunday game, which was in Toronto. That would have been awesome to win it in Toronto, but I'll just take them winning it in general.
Yeah,
so.
the 6-6. That's the way it is now.
There was I was just watching a clip online as well, and it was some guy had just ripped a tree or no, like a small plant from somewhere downtown, and he was just carrying it, and then the news reporter was like, it's Plant. They just named him Plant Guy, and they were like, what are you doing with the plant? And he's like, it's a housewarming present. It's like that Kawhi guy, the one, like the main player. He's like, he's staying. It's a housewarming present. I was like, that's pretty. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
so it's pretty awesome. Like we're just happy for the whole country. It's the first time ever a Canadian team has won it, which means it's the first time a non-American team has won the National Basketball Association. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like I wasn't here when the Blue Jays won. I think that was back in '92, and like the Maple Leafs haven't won since whatever '68 or something like that.
Oh wow.
The TFC, they won the MLS Cup.
Yep.
But football's not as big over here, so
it's getting up there, but it's still not as big now.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest sporting event for like the country in like at least since the Blue Jays, if not longer.
It definitely is, yeah. And like I said, you could just tell from the vibe of everyone who were just like super happy. And there were plenty of people probably not into basketball, but they still, still getting into it. And like they had this Jurassic Park outside where people can watch outside, and that just got crazy big and expanded, and I know that every game they had of this series, Jurassic Park was just full. There was lineups. It got so busy that people were lining up for 2 days before in like tents and stuff. It was almost like an iPhone launch, lining up outside. And it was just nuts. But yeah, a good buzz in the city. So,
and I also think it means more because, well, like the Blue Jays were the first Canadian baseball team, but there's something about basketball that just gives off this very American feeling. And they didn't just beat anybody. For anybody who doesn't follow basketball, like my bare bones knowledge is that Golden State are the best team in the league. They've gotten to the last, I think it was 5 finals they've been in. Like every year they're in there. So you're beating the best of the best when you're getting there. It's not LeBron James who's the big name, but Golden State are in 5 finals in a row. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, that's really cool. Good for them.
Yeah, good going, Raptors. Well done.
Yeah,
do it again next year. Make a real dynasty out of it, because that would be pretty awesome.
That would be sweet. I think a lot of people are going to be watching them and getting more into them. So yeah, good luck to them.
I think the only thing left now is to have a bloody NH or NFL team get the football.
Yeah,
they got the Super Bowl.
They got the CFL, haven't they?
I got CFL.
Yeah.
So. There's no NFL franchise anywhere.
I heard somewhere that The Rock used to play for the CFL.
Yeah, he played for I think it was Calgary Stampeders.
Something like that. Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Or he tried out for them and then he got injured and he couldn't play.
And then he realized he wasn't good enough either. So he's like, I've got to do something else. So
yeah. So he became the biggest star in the world.
Yeah, I'll just try that,
I'll give that a go. Put my resume in for that.
I could totally see him just like joking around with that.
What experience do you have? I have given the rock bottom to Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Excellent. Very good. Would you be interested in being a Scorpion King? Yeah, sounds good.
I'll give that a go.
Oh, there's a nice segue. Quick rock news. He's found his director for Black Adam, the new DC movie.
Yeah.
It's the director he's working with at the moment on Disney's The Jungle Cruise.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so they must have been chatting behind the scenes.
Yeah, he must have just... there's no way that guy who... I don't even know his name. Like, he just magically goes from that straight into the next Rock movie.
I know, yeah.
But I've seen that a few times. The Rock likes his team. He likes to keep the same director and work with the same director. So yeah, I think he probably had a good vibe with this guy. He's like, yeah, I'm going to put in a good word with DC or Warner Brothers, and it's not like DC is going to say no to The Rock at this point. The way they keep throwing everything out.
Yeah, he's The Rock's just insane. Like, I follow him on Instagram, and he's always doing something. So he just finished Jumanji, and Hobbs and Shaw's coming out, so he's doing the press thing for that. And he's filming the Disney one you just mentioned, and then he's got other things in the lineup, and then he's doing Under Armour, and he's got his own thing under Armour. He's doing, and then suddenly he's like hosting awards and stuff, and then he's got the Titan games. It's like, holy shit, this guy is just busy, and he's got a family. And he's so routine. Like, I know he comes home and he does have a cleaner and a chef and stuff. But like, he goes to the gym every 5 a.m, and he comes home and he makes sure he's got like an hour or two of the kids, and then he has like his cheat meal days, and then he's sitting down and watching Netflix, and it's just like, yeah, he's so in that routine, isn't he? But yeah, he's just, I don't know how he does it. He's like so busy. It must be a little bit like, Mark Wahlberg, where he said, every hour he's doing something, and then his schedule got released. I'm guessing The Rock's very similar to that as well.
I'd also say The Rock is not that it's a smart thing, but he's designed his whole world around like him, not in an ego way, but it's like,
yeah, I get what you mean though.
I'm getting a private plane, so he doesn't have to wait on queues for the thing. He doesn't have to wait on, like you said, he'll have a chef, he'll have everything that's not helping him either be a father or be The Rock is just out. It's just gone.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
what I mean?
Even his gym travels. He's got a traveling gym. Like, obviously that's like his thing. So they just build it so when he goes somewhere, if he's filming, they'll just take the gym. So that means that as soon as he gets out of his hotel or wherever he's at, his gym that he's used to is sitting right there, and he'll be like, all right, it's 5 a.m, I'll do that. Yep, do all this stuff. Okay, now the chef's here. Okay, I'll have some food, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then he's probably just next on the schedule. It's like, meet some of the fans. Yep, let's do that, So once you're into that kind of routine, it's probably like, I wouldn't say easy, but it's, he makes it look easy. So
He makes it look easy. He's also the thing that I think most people admire about The Rock at this stage, just like you said, is that he's doing this movie, this movie, this movie. He's doing HBO's Ballers. He's doing Titan Games. He's always doing something, but you know that like he's at the point where he could just never do anything again.
Right,
like, he's fine. He could just be like, yeah, you know what? I've done this. I've made that. I'll do one movie a year for the rest of my life. But he's like, no, I'm going to keep pushing it. So that the fact that he's clearly not motivated by money, and he just does it because he loves it, I think that comes across.
I could see him kind of doing a bit of a Schwarzenegger and maybe going into kind of politics or something later on. But I know obviously there's those things that, you know, Rock for president. I don't think he'll go that far, but I can see him being a bit of a Schwarzenegger because he was the same. He did a lot of stuff, but it wasn't always about the money. And then he got into obviously the governor of California and stuff, and he's still doing a lot of stuff. But he kind of reminds me a little bit of him.
Yeah, because eventually he's going to hit a point where he's just, not that he's ever going to be unfit, but he's not going to be able to do those action roles that he likes so much.
Yeah, and then a drought might run dry because like he's doing those films and it's all great, but there's going to be a point where it's just like, oh, there's another one from The Rock, you know. So there's only they can only last so long, I think.
Yeah, everything has its time. Everything has trends.
Yeah.
The drought runs dry. I heard it too, folks. I'm not gonna let him get away with that.
After I said it, I was like, oh god. But maybe I'll do some
editing. Drought runs dry.
The drought runs dry.
It sounds like some weird like thing you'd get in a Chinese fortune cookie. The drought runs dry.
Yeah.
Be wary of a man dressed in blue.
You know, there's a dude in the States, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and he got numbers out of his fortune cookie, so he played them on the lottery and he won like 300 million. I was like, holy fuck.
Where did Chinese that fortune cookie come from?
Yeah, we're getting Chinese.
That's just one of those stories that just doesn't make sense. Like, your brain can't wrap around that.
No.
You're like, you just pick the numbers from the thing. Like, is it... That's where, like, one set of people like, it's magic, it's a miracle, it's the man in the sky. And then there's other people just like, it doesn't have to mean there's destiny or fate, but the chances of that are just unbelievable.
I know, crazy unbelievable. And that guy,
yeah, whichever way you come at that, your head explodes. You're like, what? What if he didn't get Chinese that night?
I know. He's just like, god damn. I wonder if he told the restaurant as well. So
yeah, and then you know that everybody else who ordered from that restaurant is just like, oh, I should have played the lotto.
Yeah, everyone's just getting fortune cookies. It's like, can I have an order, like a bag of cookies, please?
Yeah. What else do you want with that? Just cookies. Just
cookies.
Give me lots of cookies.
Yeah, so the other thing for sporting, we're a little late on it, but I know we definitely want to talk about it, is the boxing. So there was that New York fight with Katie Taylor. There was Anthony Joshua, and there was some other good matches as well. But I know we were focusing on those two.
Triple G fought last.
Triple G did
last
fight.
night.
No,
he
last
won.
week.
Knockout in the fourth round. He was pretty dominant.
And Fury,
I think he might be looking for that Canelo rematch.
Yeah, I think so, 100%. I think that'll be great to see as well, because it was a bit controversial, the other one, like who was winning, and there's a lot of tempo was in the air as well. So hopefully, I prefer Triple G, to be honest, out of the two.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no denying Canelo is very, very good. So
Canelo's also gotten smart. Like, he used to be a very physical kind of boxer, and when he went up against like Mayweather's the best example. Mayweather was just older, but so much smarter that he controlled the ring and he controlled it. And now Canelo's at the point where he's like, he knows that he can turn on the power if he has to, and he can start doing the counter punching. But like, I watched his last couple of fights, and he's not out there trying to just destroy people in like the first few rounds. He's like, all right, just going to play this, going to work it. I know I'm ahead on the cards. I just have to be safe. I got to be sensible.
Yeah.
He's got that winner's mentality now. It's like he's got his record, he's got his legacy to think of, and he's just building and building and building.
Yeah, totally, man. Like, I haven't kept a close eye on him, but I saw his fight on YouTube when he was fighting Mayweather, and it's exactly what you said. Like, you can see he's a much smarter fighter now. I'd actually love to see that fight, but I feel like Mayweather, doesn't matter what happens with him now, his fights are always just going to be exhibitions. Like he's out of the game. Like he's not.
Oh
he's
yeah,
not a fighter anymore.
he's been out of the game for a long time.
Even
really.
even McGregor, like he was out of the game then. Like sure he's still fit and he trains, but he's not he's not like a pro boxer anymore. He's out. So
you could even argue he's out of the game before that, in the sense of he was just looking at his number. He's like 46-0, 47-0.
I think so.
That's all he was caring about. He's like, let's get the next money bout in. Let's get this in.
Yeah, I think the last one that I could see him really caring about was Pacquiao, wasn't it? Like that was the one where everyone wanted to see it, and the fight happened, blah blah blah. But after that, I think he basically just checked out, and he was like, okay, I'm done. Like that's the last thing on my list. Some people were doubting that I could beat him, blah blah blah, and he did. So from then on, I think it's just been money grabs. Ticking the number off his list. What was it, 50 or 60 or 55 or?
That's where it gets to. It's that if you say McGregor's involved, then it's 50. I think now because of this fight in Japan, it's 51.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He's always wanted to beat Marciano. Rocky Marciano has a 50-0 record.
Yeah.
So he always wanted to have that because that's the ultimate record. So
sure.
But you look at the guys who Marciano was fighting, and so then all that, whatever. Yeah, and it's also Mayweather's always going to have that big asterisk beside him of just he's not. No one cares. No one likes him. No one gives a crap if he has a record.
Yeah, he was a bit of a boring fighter. He was a defensive fighter. He probably started off like quite good, but then a bit like a Klitschko, he kind of just played it safe a lot of the time. And then and like you said, if he was fighting someone like crazy good, he'll just make sure he's ahead of the cards and play it smart, which is fine.
I think it was his hands. I think he broke his hands in his early days, like a couple of injuries. So he had to stop going for those knockouts and just had to start working for the points.
Oh, right, interesting.
But it's not even like this style of fighting. It's just him as a guy. You're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like academically, I appreciate what you do, but there was a point in his career where doing the whole Money Mayweather thing and being the dickhead just it ran out of steam. Yeah, and it's just like now you're just an asshole.
Now you're just a dickhead. It's just like plain and simple. So we were watching the Katie Taylor and the Anthony Joshua, and I guess we can start with Katie Taylor because, man, both fights, were crazy. Katie Taylor to start with, I think that was the first time.
Do we have to say spoiler alert for this, or is everybody's probably
it's already a bit late, and I think anyone listening to this sporting segment will already be on it. But you're just going to hear our thoughts. But Katie Taylor, absolutely love her. I've been into her last 5 fights. I know you've been into her a bit more, but it was strange to see, in a good way. Like, it was nice to have an opponent which can fight back or take your punches, but it was definitely the first time she almost went from just easily breezing through all these opponents to a wall where it's like this girl was not going down, or she was a bit of a brawler and she wanted to get close and and fight. And Taylor can take shots as well. So it was very surprising what happened as well, because I guess, again, spoilers and stuff, but I had the fight at maybe a tie, or I should really know the other woman's name. I know she was Polish.
Persoon.
Persoon, that's it, yeah. So she lost, and it was very controversial, but overall...
She's not Polish, she's Belgian.
Oh, okay. Why did I say Polish? I don't know where Polish came from. But so I definitely had her... I think I had her winning, or if not, a tie. But a really exciting boxing match, though. You could see Katie was being smart with her punches, but that... She just wanted to get in and brawl. And then Katie was like, sure, I'll do that. Because I can't remember what round it was. But did you see that one where Katie was basically egging her on, saying, come on, let's go?
Yeah.
But then you could hear the coach in the corner saying, no, don't do that, because she'll beat you every time, You've got to get, points on the card and all that lot. But what was your thought?
Well, I was watching that fight, and then I was raging because we were going to do the live stream on it, and it fell through.
Yeah.
So between that and the Joshua fight, we're like, oh my god, of all the nights that we could have had to open up a stream, it would have been so good.
I know.
That fight was everything that people had said Taylor should worry about, but every other fight, like you said, she steamrolled them, or she was smart enough to wear them down and then take them in the later rounds. And this was just like, this woman has this, I don't know, like a V8 engine in her chest, and she just kept coming forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the one thing that lets her down is it looks clumsy and it looks kind of brawlish, and she wasn't doing enough damage to make it seem like she was earning or like winning the round. So that's kind of where the controversy happens of like, Taylor isn't as physical and she's not moving forward, but she is more accurate. So she's taking advantage of her opponent. So you could say, okay, in that regard, technically and tactically, Taylor's doing what she can given the situation.
Yeah, I will say that her punches definitely, you could tell, like if we were being referees and we were like, okay, she hit her, yep, another one. Whereas Prasoon, it was like more of a, it was messy, so you couldn't tell as much. So I do agree with that for sure, because at the end of the day, it is down to the cards and it's about how clean and tactical you are. I just think Katie took more of a beating, but I do like the V8 engine analogy, because you're 100% right. She was like Rocky, mate. She was not going anywhere, and she was just like, even at the end of the was it 10 rounds?
Yeah, it's 10 2-minute rounds.
She was still like, I know they were both tired, but I still felt like she had more in her, like as in she'll just brawl more for another 2 rounds.
If there was another 1 or 2 rounds, Katie would have lost.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think it's just either on the points would have flipped over, but like in that final round when she's going out, it was just like, holy crap, she's dead on her feet, like she's exhausted, and it's because she knows it's the 10th round. She knows she can give everything, but in those final like 10 to 15 seconds, I was really worried she's going to get knocked right to the canvas.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Her hands were down. She was like bent over, like she didn't have the core strength to even stand up properly.
That's
you see that, and that's your final image. You're thinking, oh, that might be bad on the cards.
True. Yeah. It's like it's totally fair. She was very accurate, and I think I haven't watched anything about talk about that fight, to be honest. So I'm guessing that's how she won, and that's how people explained it. So I think just from an average Joe watching that fight, they'd think Prasoon would have won, because she was just kind of beating, Katie was taking a beating. But I think if you really actually analyze the fight, you're like, okay, you got a jab and a clean jab, another clean jab, jab, and that might have been what won it. But super happy for her as well, because she's going to learn a lot from that as well, and that's something to take from the fight. And she's going to be like, okay, I know that I lost steam in like round 7, so she's probably going to train. I know a lot of fighters train for, if they're doing 10 rounds, they'll train for 13 or 15 or something, but she'll need to improve on that so she doesn't lose steam. But I can see there being a rematch as well, because I think a lot of people want to see that, and that would be excellent. But overall, excellent boxing match. Like that's all you can ask for, because you don't want to see her just steamroll through her as well, and you're just like, oh well, who's next? It's like, it's nice to have a challenge.
Yeah, it makes her victory. It makes any victory better when you've actually earned it and overcome something. If you go out and you're so much better than the other person, it's not going to matter. The thing she's definitely going to learn in that fight, though, was, like you said, the coach mentioned it. She mentioned it in her post interviews, is that her problem is that she kind of likes having a scrap. She likes getting in there. She likes just like taking the hits and giving the hits, and her game plan kind of falls apart. Whereas if she had been a little bit more tactical, had been a little more savvy and a little more clever in how she's using her own speed, her footwork, her range, she would have just ripped Prasoon apart over the course of 10 rounds.
Right.
I think the problem is she tries to get in there, she tries to fight against the V8 engine, and she can't keep up, and she's starting to get worn down, and round 6, round 7, she's like, I'm not used to this pace. She's fighting Prasoon's fight in a lot of ways. But I think if she had just been smart and she just been like, you know what, jab, jab, move, jab, jab, move, jab, jab, move. Pursoon would have just been destroyed because she has no footwork. She's just like steamroll straight ahead, big flurry of punches, short and then close and then grab and then just frustrate.
Yeah.
But Katie's footwork and her speed was easily visible in like the first few rounds, where she's like pop, 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 and then she got caught into that fighting brawler mentality. She's like, all right, you want to go? Come on, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, the adrenaline kicked in and she was like, yeah, let's do this. She's in New York, it's a massive stadium and like all eyes are on her. And she kind of wanted to probably test herself as well. But I think after that first brawl, she was like, oh shit, like she can brawl too. So then her coach was like, don't let that happen again. But then Katie's like, well, I've shown that I've got like a little injured now. So she's going to come even harder. So I think that was her mistake. But I think if that was to happen, if or when there's a rematch, I think Katie will play the more tactical, fight. She probably will avoid the brawling, but if she sees an opening, she'll probably go for it. But yeah.
Yeah, to give our in-depth coverage, which is usually Rocky movies, she's got to do the Clubber Lang move. She's got to wear out Pursoon's engine a little bit better.
Yes.
Like let her range just kind of like pop, 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 and just constantly give Pursoon this jab in the face that's going to keep her like she doesn't have any like it would have been great to watch, like I said again, but like if you watch Pursoon, she's just straight ahead all the time. She doesn't have footwork, she doesn't have movement. So once you know that, it's not hard for a good fighter just to be like, all right, she's going to come straight at me. I'm going to pop, step to the side, pop and step to the side. I'm just going to move around the ring like that because she has no other option. She's not bobbing and weaving. She doesn't have any head movement. She's a sitting duck, but she's this constant, well, not even a duck. She's just this bull that's constantly coming at you. But at least you know that for a fact. So you just got to keep hitting it on the head, and you do that for 6 rounds, and then you know for a fact that you've got 6 rounds in the bag. Then you've got 4 rounds in which this person is going to get frustrated, it's going to be tired, is going to be annoyed, and then Katie can just let loose.
Yeah.
I think she tried to get in there a little too early. She tried to get in at around like 4, 5, 6.
I agree.
It's like, no, it should have been a little later when she started to get those brawls in.
And she'll know that when she looks back at it as well, which is like the cool thing as well to look at it. But then you could argue that Pursoon will kind of look at her thing and say, well, I know that she likes to brawl and she, maybe I'm better at that, so I'm going to push that on her sooner in the rematch as well. But
rematches are always good in that, yeah. And Katie went home. She went home to Bray. They had like a big ceremony, or like everyone went out and met her and saw the belts and the unification. So
that's
great. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to see that it's like it's back home.
Yeah,
it's
that's
cool.
So cool. That's good because obviously like that fight was so big because she won the belt, and that was the final belt to kind of have them all, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. So now she's the undisputed unified women's champion.
That's awesome. Good for her.
I'd say she's either gonna take the rematch or she might just move up a weight class.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
She's got, like you said, she's steamrolled everybody in this division apart from Pursoon. So if she wants to prove herself, she's like, all right, look, I'm going to go back. I'm going to beat this woman properly so there's no confusion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either going to be that, like you said, or moving up a class, and then maybe she'll come back for 2 or 3 fights later.
Yeah, somebody who's not going to have a parade when he goes home is AJ.
Yeah, so that was the other fight. Anthony Joshua. He was supposed to fight Jared Miller. He got done for like steroids, so he could fuck right off. And then they got
3 different steroids.
I know, bloody idiot. So they got
PEDs,
Andy. What was this? Andy. What's the
Ruiz Jr.
Ruiz, that's it, yeah. So we didn't really know too much about this guy.
I think you should know his name, Al. He's the heavyweight champion of the world.
He is now. That was a crazy one as well. Like, what the heck was going on? So my thoughts on this were...
we could talk about this for a week.
I know. So my thoughts on this, because we haven't talked about it, is I've got many thoughts, and I don't even know which is the right one. I haven't looked at a lot of the media on this either, but I think that AJ, first of all, I think some of it was nerves. I think because he was in New York, there was a different vibe of him as well. Like I think, and I think it's nerves, But I know he was in New York, and I know he had a lot of like weight on his shoulders because everyone was talking about him like, oh, this guy from the UK, he walks down the street, he can't walk down the street without being recognized and shit like that. And I think he got caught because Andy has really, really fast hands. I think that punch that got I'll back up. AJ knocked him down first, and I think that usually happens in his boxing. So he's just like, oh, he's on the floor, and he's almost just like, okay, the next thing I'm going to do now is just apply some pressure, and then we'll be done. And I think that's in his mind what he thought was going to happen. But Andy, fast hands, and probably thought the same thing. He's going to come in. This is where my chance is. He nips AJ, knocks him down, and this is where I think the shot that he got AJ with was the biggest and hardest shot maybe he's ever taken. And AJ from then on wasn't in the fight, so he was completely out of it. He was knackered.
Are you talking about that right hand that just catches him
yes.
right up at the top of the head? Yeah, that
I think,
and that's a horrible place to get hit.
I don't think he's
right
ever been
around
hit
your
there
ear
before.
and your temple, and it sort of like screws your equilibrium up, screws your balance up.
I think that's from then on he wasn't on form. Like I'd say from there he was probably like 90%, and he was like but nervous, but 90%. Oh, I've knocked him down, it's all cool. I think after that, I honestly think he was at like 30% for the rest of the fight. He was dizzy, he's never been hit there before. Oh, there's even more pressure, I've been on the canvas. Oh, I've got off the canvas, that's cool. Then he gets hit again. I just feel like inside of him, like that's how he's thinking, and he's like, I don't want to let people down, let's get up again. And I will say good on him for getting up, because he's just a fucking huge guy, isn't he? But he was just knackered. And I do think Andy just had those fast hands. He knew once he got that first shot in, he knew, okay, his guard is down, when he does this kind of thing. And it just got easier for Andy because AJ was getting more and more tired. But, so yeah, I think that punch definitely knocked him out of the game kind of thing. But I will still say back up. And there was something, as cheesy as this sounds, the eye of the tiger wasn't in AJ's eyes before that match either. There was something weird. And maybe even the last two fights he's had, I think he kind of lost his mojo a little bit. And I actually think this has done more good for him. Now, I think he's going to have a rematch because I think that was in the contract. I'm not sure if a rematch straight away is what he should do. But I do think overall this might actually help him. He says on his social media, AJ, he's like, this is all part of the journey. And he's a very, very good sportsman. Like he was congratulating Andy, and he was being like super humble and everything. So he's definitely not down and out. But I do think a rematch is incredibly dangerous for him because if he has a rematch, he's got to be the old AJ, and he's got to just smash him like within 3 rounds. Otherwise, I think he's done for. And if he loses the rematch, he's got to kind of analyze the rest of his career, So I think I can see him. I think I heard somewhere he has actually done the rematch, and it's going to happen. They're just working out whether it's in London or Las Vegas or whatever. But I don't know. I almost feel like maybe he should fight one of the other guys and then get his kind of mojo back. But what's your thought, man?
Yeah, there's a lot to pull down with the fight. Or actually, I'll go into what you're saying about the rematch and stuff. Is that he does have it it's a clause in the contract because that's just what happens with every one of these super fights. Is that if he doesn't take the rematch right away, though, then all his promoters are gonna be like, oh, he's worried, he's panicked, he's afraid.
True.
And I think it was Eddie Hearn who said like he has to win the rematch or he's gone, like his career's over because he can't sell a guy.
Yeah.
Like he can't sell AJ on the same level as this superstar if he loses it to the same guy twice in a row.
Yeah.
Then where are you in the rankings? Like then you're fighting for another 2, 3, 4 years before you're in contention again until you're in that kind of circle where you're like, okay, he's back to being at his best.
Yeah, that's right.
The thing though with his rematch is like before we get into this fight and what went wrong is if he goes out and tries to knock him out in 3 rounds, he could get his ass handed to him because that's when Ruiz is at his freshest.
True.
And I think that's what AJ there's lots to talk about. But in the fight, his game plan fell apart because his reach, I think it's something like a 4-inch reach advantage or something.
Yeah, it was
He
loads.
could have just jabbed his way to victory. Could have kept with the jab and the right hand. And then when he tried to get in, like you said, he knocked him down and he said, oh, I'm going to go in now. I'm going to do the AJ and I'm going to just knock him out. I'm going to finish this off. And he was an idiot because he goes in. Ruiz knows he's going to come in and he's got the faster hands and he just goes pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
And from there, Ruiz has the advantage. AJ's rocked. And like you said, it took another 3 rounds for it to happen, but it was always on the cards after that first knockdown because it was such a brutal hit to take him out.
Yeah.
And it comes on the psychological back of like, oh yeah, I knocked this guy down. He's no worry. This is all going to plan. Holy crap! What happened? I'm on my ass.
And he's only been on his ass once before. Now it's Klitschko, and I'd argue that the punch that got him just was more of a average punch. I think the one that Andy hit him with. I don't think he's ever been hit like that before, maybe not even in sparring. So he was just like, what the heck? Because you could just tell he was just dazed. But even when he went back, because I was thinking to myself, oh, just get the round over with and get your energy back. And like, you're a fit guy, so just go back into the round, fresh, But he went back into that round and he was just knackered still. He was just like, no, I'm still not here. And then the round after that, I think I saw him perk up a little bit. But then I think his confidence was just gone, and then that's where I think he got knocked down again. I know he got knocked down 4 times and they called it. And also I will say good on the referee, because you don't want like him coming out with brain damage or anything like that. Like that was the right call. AJ was just going to happen again and again, and then AJ eventually wouldn't get up, So
bringing up the Klitschko fight's a good point though, because when he got knocked down against Klitschko, as much as AJ was the champion or whatever, he was still the underdog. He was still going up against the best fighter of his generation, the smart, intelligent, older, generally better fighter. So you have that. What you're getting back to is the eye of the tiger thing of like, I have to get up, I have to beat this guy. But with Ruiz, he's walking in there, he's the favorite. Ruiz is taking the fight on short notice, and everyone's making fun of him because he's a little bit fat, or he doesn't look like AJ. AJ looks so sculpted, and it's just this whole environment is different. Because then when you get knocked down, like you said, it's like, what the hell happened? This isn't what everybody told me. This isn't the story.
Yeah, totally.
Who is this guy? Like, if Klitschko knocks you down, you're immediately like, oh my God, Klitschko knocked me down. Klitschko. It's in your head. It's just this echo of like, I'm fighting Vladimir Klitschko. I have to be better. When you're fighting, no disrespect to him because he is the champion, but when you're fighting Andy Ruiz Jr., you're like, who is this guy? What is happening? What's going on? And finding that fire, that heart to just get up and prove yourself isn't going to happen, because like, you never thought you would have to prove yourself to this guy in this situation.
And I like what you said about the whole like AJ sculpted and this guy's a little overweight, because that's a lot of what people were talking about before the fight and even after, is that like AJ just got beaten by a fat Mexican. That's like a lot of people were saying. It's just like, and it kind of goes to show like, this guy is friggin' fast with his hands, and you don't need to be sculpted. Like, I know Tyson Fury, actually, a lot of the time he says about AJ, he's like, you're a bodybuilder, because, like, you look great. But it's like, Tyson Fury's a bit pudgy as well. And he's just like, it's all in the skill and the fast hands and stuff. So I think that also was on AJ's mind, is like you said, he's on the floor and he's like, what the fuck happened? Why is this guy, this like tubbo, he's got me down, And also probably borderline like embarrassing for him as well. Even though the other guy is a champion and a very, very good boxer, I think there's like that little part of, this is a little embarrassing,
I'm glad you brought up Fury, because he was the one piece of media I caught, because we were talking about his fight on Saturday. And you brought up, Fury's fighting on Saturday, and we can talk about it on the podcast and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And from that, I just did a quick search for Fury's fight, and I found his interview that came out this week as he was being asked about his fight, and they asked him about AJ, and he said in his fight, like his interview, he's going to be a little bit extravagant or whatever, but he thinks AJ's done and he's never going to come back,
right?
Because, and like again, like as much as you might dislike or whatever Tyson Fury's a heavyweight fighter. Tyson Fury's been in there, he's done that. He's the guy who's going to say, and he says, you talk to the people in the game, and I could see it too. When I saw him get into that ring on the fight night, he didn't look like he wanted to be there.
Yeah.
It's just, you can tell that he just doesn't want to be in that ring anymore.
I did get that vibe as well. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And you know what? I think back, and an example from people that I watch a lot of is McGregor. When McGregor went in to fight Khabib, there was also that kind of spark is missing. It doesn't look like he wants to be in that thing. He's putting on the show, but like I could honestly say that I looked at that, and when he was doing his pre-fight routines and he's putting his hands out and he's acting like the big man and stuff, I'm like, that's not the same. I don't get the vibe off him that I get when I see him in there trying his best.
Yeah.
And with AJ, I'm not a big heavyweight guy, usually watching the lower guys. But with AJ, when Fury comes out and says that, and then I went back and watched a few clips from him, like, yeah, they announce his name and he kind of does it like a half-hearted, yeah, I'm here, and puts his hand up kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could play it off as like, oh, it's nerves. He's nervous because he's in America. He's trying to break it. But you look at him from that compared to, again, the Klitschko fight when he walks out and then everyone's cheering him and he's got like all this energy, and it's a different man. It's a different fighter.
I agree as well. And like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, I thought it was nerves, and I think some of it was because he's, like you said, he's trying to break America, and he's got like Wilder watching, he's got Fury watching, he wants to fight them all. But there's definitely something in that, whether he wants it or not, because AJ started in boxing because like he was kind of on the streets, being a bit of a brawler on the streets or whatever. He was up to no good, and then boxing kind of changed his life. And there could be this could be a thing, is I think he got into boxing and he was good at it, and he's got the look and everything, and I think he just had his fights and maybe he was just winning them and he was just doing really well. He's got good charisma, he's got a good face. Then he started becoming like an ambassador for Sky Sports. He's won his 15th fight, and all that lot. And maybe he's just been cruising. He's just been in cruise control doing his things. But now, after that night, I think all the build up and everything to it, maybe something ticked over and he was like, I'm not sure if I actually want this, Like, maybe he just wants to be a trainer or still be, like, I know he likes to help out the gyms and things like that. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more he can do as well. But, maybe he might have hit a wall, and there is a very strong chance that maybe he doesn't come back at all. I could actually believe that as well.
Well, it's what they always accuse boxers of this, of like, oh, he's fighting journeymen, he's not getting put up against guys, he's fighting garbage, so he's not getting tested. And Fury mentioned that, but he also mentions like that's part of the game. Like, your promoters, they see the cash cow, they see the guy who's going to make the money. Instead of having one big fight after another, let's have 3 medium fights that will make like a couple of million each. So like, we're all walking away with a few $1 million.
Yeah.
But like, Ruiz, in fairness, was supposed to be the same. Miller was one of those guys. He's a decent American fighter, but he's breaking him into an American thing. Ruiz was like, oh, he's just a guy who fights. Fantastic record though, like 33 fights, 32-1, knockouts in like most of them, super fast hands. The idea though that like Joshua has reached a point where he's worth how much at this point? $40-50 million or something.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was reading
easily.
I was reading an article that Messi, the football player, is the most. He earns the most money out of everyone in the whole world, and like sports. But Anthony Joshua is like on the list just below, like not too far below him.
Yeah, and he's not even 30 at this point.
No, I know.
So like I know that last year when he got all his belt, or he got most of the belts, he made something like 20 million at least off one of the fights. Maybe that was in pounds, I'm not sure. So you give a kid, any kid, I don't care what his sport is, you go like, here you go, here's $50 million, and you're young, you're handsome, you're talented, you're good looking. Do you want to go into a ring and get the face pounded off you?
I know, yeah.
Like every fighter says it. Tyson Fury says it. Mike Tyson says it. Holyfield, all the big heavyweights especially say it, because that's the most brutal of all the divisions, is that there has to be something wrong with you to be a fighter. Like there's something in you that's not what everybody else in the world deals with. And Joshua, maybe he doesn't have that anymore. Maybe he's lost it because he's living the good life. He's living the happy life, and more power to him. You know, get in there, make a bunch of money, get out. I'm not going to complain that you don't want to get punched in the head anymore.
Yeah.
But this is where you really discover who's a champion and who's not. Like, who is going to take a loss, have this kind of shit like me and you, wondering what's going on in his head, like everybody's doing right now. Everybody questioning, can he come back? Will he make it back? Is he going to get into the... Like, this whole cyclone of just discussion and debate. Like, are you going to come through that and be like, the only thing I want are my belts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get them back.
Yeah.
Can you shut all the shit out and be like, this is all I want? If you can do that, there's a chance you're a champion. If you can't do that and you're like, oh, I have to get my... I have to earn this back, and I was embarrassed. And if there's anything else in your head except I'm the champion, I don't think he's going to come back.
Yeah,
in terms
I agree.
of like having that eye of the tiger thing again.
Yeah, exactly. That and I feel like, yeah, it's hard to judge because it was America, and like it's different when he's walking out in the UK, but you can't just say, oh, I'm just going to fight in the UK. Like, you have to fight in other places, and you're not the champion anymore. Like, I don't think the fight should be in Mexico, but I don't think it should be in the UK. I think it should be in, like, Vegas or maybe just New York again, you know? But, because Andy is American. I'm just not sure where he is in America, but, so I heard that if there was a rematch, it would be in the UK, but I think still have it away from the UK, because I think Joshua needs to beat him out of the UK, and if he even fights him at all. I hadn't really thought about that side of it, but now that you mentioned it, it's like, yeah, shit, like there's a chance that he might not fight again if he doesn't have his mojo back, or he doesn't want it, you know? And like we said, the look in his eyes, it was weird, and I just don't know. I don't know if it's just down to nerves and America and a new fighter. You could argue that he was training for Miller, but then Miller, he had another 6 weeks just to learn Andy, but it could just be all that wrapped up, and it was just a thing, or it could be, I'm just not into this.
It's also the way he went out. Like, it was round 6, and he was getting knocked down, and he get knocked down again, and you're just like, what is happening? He gets back to the corner. Round 7, he gets knocked down again. But that's when the whole thing just became this weird, like, situation where he spits out his mouthpiece, which is kind of a sneaky underhand tactic. It's like, that gives me an extra few seconds after I stand up because someone has to grab it, give it to me, put it in my mouth. He stands up. He's looking at his corner, so he turns his back to the opponent. Then he's in the corner. He's on the ropes. He's sitting back on it. He looks like he's kind of got things together, you know what I mean? But, like, for people who are not quite up to it, the referee's job then is to say, are you ready to go? Put your hands up, step towards me. He has to check that the fighter is able to hear him, that the fighter is able to see him, that his eyes are, he's trying to give a rough, as this guy got a concussion.
Yeah.
And he does that every time to every fighter. You look at me, ready to go? Okay, let's go. Joshua doesn't put his hands up. Joshua doesn't look at him. Yes, he's nodding. Yes, he's saying, where's my mouthpiece? But that's not the way to do it. You have to answer the ref. You have to answer the call. You have to step up. Don't turn your back. He might look relaxed, but he's not there. He's quitting on the corner in a roundabout kind of way. So, yeah, it's if this doesn't light the fire in him to go on and become a true legend, then I don't think there's any way back from him unless he beats Ruiz again.
Yeah, I think now that we've had that chat, I think you're right. If you don't take the rematch, it looks like you're scared, and like people just won't want to promote you, and that's all what that's all what people are going to talk about is like you're running away. So he has the rematch. He loses the rematch. It's just he's done. But there's the chance that he doesn't do it at all, and he's just like, after that loss, after being in New York, I just realized that that's not my end game. It's not my end goal. It'll be interesting to see because he was obviously in the news for like 2 weeks straight. He's not on like Sky Sports like news anymore right now, like on the top headlines. But I'm expecting in the next month something to pop up, and it's either going to be one or the other rematch, and it's going to be September, October, or it's going to be Anthony Joshua hangs the gloves up, his statement and all that lot,
Yeah, I did like how I think Wilder came out and was trying to laugh at him and stuff, and then everyone just kind of shut him down on Twitter, being like, "Who have you fought?
Yeah,
you fight nobodies as well, and you lost to Fury, and everybody knows it.
Yeah,
and you dodged a rematch on that one, so shut up."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the only guy who's got respect now in the whole division is Fury. So
I do.
If he wins tomorrow, it'll be interesting who he gets up to next.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm looking forward to that. I don't really know the guy he's fighting, but Fury has definitely grown on me, and he's gone through a lot. But I watched quite a few interviews with him, and yeah, he's definitely grown on me. I think I just didn't like him before because I thought he was a bit leery, but that's kind of part of the game, and he does make it exciting. Because the other thing you can say is AJ's almost a little bit too relaxed and not boring, but like just a little too plain. Whereas Fury's probably a little bit too fiery. But exciting times anyway. I've got to wrap this one up, but we'll get.
Yeah, the drought is running dry.
The drought is running dry, guys. The drought is running dry. We'll get into some movies and TV shows and some games in the next podcast for you.
Yeah, we didn't shortchange you guys. This one's like an hour long, just talking about sports.
Sports, man.
Sports day. Next up is Rounders.
Let us know in the comments what you guys thought of the fights, and if you're a Raptors fan, how did it feel to have Canada win instead of a US team? Do you follow Katie Taylor? Do you follow boxing? What's the next fight you're looking forward to? Leave it in the comments, and we'll have some chats.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, lads. We'll be chatting again later on about some other stuffs.
All right. See you later, guys.
See ya.